I'm gonna be so real. I wasn't planning to make this video. I was initially thinking that this is just coming from rival fans. It's coming from Madrid fans who claim to be Madrid fans, but they actually play a stance. I just thought it was a stupid narrative. But then, yesterday, people were tagging me. People were saying, Faysal, it's coming from actual reporters. It's coming from actual Spanish journalists. I'm like, Spanish journalists? Hold on. The people that I know, the people that I trust, the people that I follow to listen to actual reliable Spanish news outlets said nothing. Like, I've been checking my feed, I've been going to the website, checking to their account. No one said anything. No one said that Arda Guler is a liability. No one said that Arda Guler goes in big games. No one said that Xabi Alonso himself doesn't trust Arda Guler. But then I realized, oh well, they are quoting it from two people who, one of them is called Madrid Universal, who, by the way, is not even a Madrid fan. He's a Barcelona fan, pretending to be a Madrid fan. He owns both accounts. He owns both the Madrid Universal and the Barcelona Universal. So who the hell do you support, my brother? You're just here for engagement, and you're out here making fake things just to get some engagement because you know Arda Guler has been the topic, has been the news, has been the headline over the past couple of days since the Liverpool game. And then the other person is the man himself, the worst account on X, Mr. Touchline, who I absolutely hate, who is known to create fake drama, fake news, fake out of context, taking everything out of context, and then man are reporting Jorge Picon, who I can easily say, my brother, my name is Faisal Hernandez. Am I a Spanish journalist? Just because he's got a Spanish name, it doesn't mean he's a Spanish journalist. Pisses me off. But let's get to the actual narrative. Let's get to the actual agenda, which has been the center of attention over the past couple of days, ever since Liverpool. Everyone's saying that Arda Guler is a liability in the big games. I've done no research. I haven't digged his games from throughout his Real Madrid tenure, his Turkey career, his Fenerbahce career. I'm just going to give you games that's coming on the top of my head, off the dome, as they call it. Barcelona last year, Copa del Rey final. We lost 3-2. Arda Guler came off the bench, assisted Tchouaméni, assisted the second goal. Is that not a big game? Is Barcelona not a big team? Anyone? No? Okay, cool. Club World Cup, where Xabi Alonso came in. He gave Arda Guler a much bigger role, trusted him, became a starter. And I remember two games specifically. The game against Juventus, he was very good. And the game against Dortmund, where he dropped 2 assists. Is those 2 games not big games anymore? Anyone? No? Okay, cool. Just wanted to address that. The game against Paris Saint-Germain, we lost 4-0. We didn't have Dean Huijsen, we didn't have Trent, but everyone had a bad game. Why is Arda Guler being highlighted as, look at Arda Guler, he didn't perform. Vinny didn't perform. Mbappe didn't perform. The whole team didn't perform. So why is Arda Guler now the issue for that game? Why is he being the scapegoat? Move on to the season. The season, we played Atleti. We played, Arda Guler started, he scored and assisted that game, got taken off. We conceded 3 goals after he got taken off. Xabi Alonso came after the game, admitted that I should have never taken him off. I made a mistake. Why is Arda Guler not now seen he can't perform in big games? Is Atleti not a big game? Is that not a big game? Okay, cool, just making my point. Move on. Juve, weeks later, he starts, creates 7 chances. 1 man of the match. Is that not a big game? Anyone? Okay. Barcelona. I don't even think he had that worst game, but we won. Yes, he was responsible for one of the goals, but he created a couple chances, created a chance that led to a goal, which got wrongly disallowed for Mbappe. What? He didn't have a bad game? But then people now talk about Liverpool, where he started that game. We lost that game, and now Arda Guler is seen as the person that was responsible for the defeat, when in reality, everyone had a bad game that game. Mbappe, that is his worst game of the season. Vinicius Jr. could barely get past Conor Bradley. Dean Huijsen has his worst game of the season. The manager himself, Xabi Alonso, had a bad game, tactically, managerial, everything. But why is he being the scapegoat? Why are they targeting himself? And this is where I come in, and this is where I would like to give my opinion. One thing I will never do is I will never defend a player which I feel like you can't defend. If you feel like a player deserves to be criticized, you have to criticize him. I'm not a player star. I'm a Real Madrid fan. Just Just because I love Arda Guler, you guys know me very well. I love Arda Guler. I'm the owner, the creator, and the creator and the owner and the producer of the Arda Guler Glazing Foundation. I love him very much. He's one of my favorite players, but I'm never gonna brush to the side. I'm never gonna hide the fact that if I feel like I have to criticize someone, I should criticize someone. Like I said, I'm a Madrid fan more than anything else. Arda Guler, what I'm seeing is stupid. What I'm seeing is narrow-minded. What I'm seeing is just stupid agendas coming from actual Madrid fans who should be supporting the player, but they're not Madrid fans. They're player style, which I'll come to. Let's start with the whole Arda Guler nonsense. Arda Guler, first of all, let me give you some facts. Arda Guler leads Real Madrid with the most chances created. Arda Guler leads La Liga with the most chances created. Arda Guler leads the top 5 leagues with the most chances created. But apparently he is the issue. I've given you a lot of games so far since last season and the Club World Cup and this season. Out of all the games so far this season, Arda Guler has not had a bad big game except for one game against Liverpool. But let's point out 2 games. Let's point out 2 games because if you guys watch Real Madrid, you should know. I mean, I'm hoping you should know. I'm hoping what tactic means, what profiles means, what roles mean. And you would know that Arda Guler of the past 2 games in Barcelona and, of course, Liverpool had a different role. Xabi Alonso used him differently. Very differently to what he does in normal games, in other games, the game against Juve, the game against Juve in the Club World Cup, Dortmund in the Club World Cup, Barcelona last season, used him very differently. In those 2 games, was being used as a complete different player in a complete different role. He used him as the deeper player, where he had Camavinga on the right-hand side. Camavinga was being used as a more advanced player and defensively would play with a 4-4-2. Camavinga was on the right-hand side, trying to neutralize Borde and, of course, Pedri, which worked to perfection against Barcelona, but made no sense why you would do it against Liverpool. That's not the point. The point is Arda Guler was being used as a deeper player in both games. The reason why he was being used as a deeper player, Xabi Alonso wants his midfielder, the one that he can trust, to have the ability when he is under pressure. He wants to beat the press easily. He wants him to be press resistant. He wants him to have great ball retention. He wants him, when he gets the ball, he's able to beat the press, progress the ball, be a controller, be a person that can start the attack from deep, be the person that gets the ball from defenders, from the goalkeeper. The profile would be Zubimendi, if that makes sense. The Rodriguez, if you guys get that idea. He doesn't trust Tchouaméni. He doesn't trust Camavinga. He doesn't trust Jude Bellingham. He doesn't trust Fede Valverde. He's given the assignment and the role to a 20-year-old who this is his first actual season play as a starter, to an Arda Guler who isn't familiar with this position, is new to this role, which is the reality, which is the truth. And now you're asking him to play this role which he hasn't played before. I don't agree with so many things of that because I don't think Camavinga is useless in that role. I think Camavinga has shown, demonstrated in more than different games, one game being the Champions League final against Dortmund, where he played very great and was being asked to do that role. One game being Liverpool itself last year at Anfield, where Camavinga dropped an absolute great performance, being asked to do that role. I do personally think Camavinga is press resistant. I do personally think Camavinga can pick up the pass. His only liability, he can't pick up a pass on the right foot, which I think can improve on, but I think can do that role very well. Tchouaméni, yes, not to the same profile, but is able to do that role. Jude Bellingham, I'm not asking one of my best players to drop deep as a 6 to progress the ball because that's not his role to do it. So you look at 3 players and you look at Arda Guler, who's more natural and can do it. But you now blaming someone because Arda Guler, because Xabi Alonso used him differently is not fair. Because Arda Guler, Xabi Alonso himself, when he first became the Real Madrid manager, when being asked about Arda Guler, said that Arda Guler, his best role in this team is behind a striker. Carlo Ancelotti last season said that his best role is behind a striker. Arda Guler, we all know his best role is behind a striker where he can pick up the passes to the left-hand side, to the right-hand side, to the middle where Mbappe has had a lot of success. So why are we now criticizing someone who's been used differently, being played deeper in a complete different role, which I don't know if you guys do or watch or anything or analyze. I'm sure you guys are all casual. Some of the haters are all casuals, and the only thing they look at is GA, foot mob rating, surfer score. If you're on 6.2, that means you had a bad game. If you're 7 and you've got a green rating, that means you had a good game. And they look at Arda Guler, he had a yellow, he had an orange, he had a bad game. But there's so much more into it. There's so much more detail about it. It's not as plain and simple, as easy as that. You have to understand why that happened. And for Arda Güler, the last 2 games, forget Barcelona, the last game against Liverpool, there was a reason why he started. Even defensively, I don't understand why he's been used as the deeper person defensively. When we have the ball, I understand it. You want him to drop deep, to control the ball. But when we don't have the ball, off the ball, why are you having Camavinga on the right-hand side? Who is he defending? Robertson? Who's been bad, barely progressed, who works, who inverted most of the time. Why not have Arda Güler when we don't have the ball, have him on the right-hand side and put Camavinga in the middle where Camavinga's best attribute is winning the ball? Why not have him in the middle? It makes no sense. That's why Xabi Alonso, for me, had a bad game tactically and everything about it, but no one speaks about it because they want to blame Arda Güler, who's the scapegoat. So this is what I understand. You have to understand, you have to, again, I'm not defending anyone. I'm just giving context into it. I'm making it very clear that what I'm seeing about Arda Güler is absolute stupid, because you look at a player who's created the most amount of chances of Real Madrid, who we have to have in this team because he's our best creator. So not having him in the team is stupid. In those kind of games, he's being used differently, but still able to produce great performances. I'm giving you games. I'm giving you Atleti, who was very good. I'm giving you Barcelona, which he creates a couple of chances. Juventus, one of the man of the match. Against Liverpool, where everyone played bad, but apparently it's only Arda Güler's fault. And now I hope I've made it very clear that in those kind of games, he should not be playing the deeper role. Deeper, being asked to take the ball, collect the ball from deep, I don't mind it. But defensively is very different. Why are you having him as a deeper person? Even on the right-hand side, you should not be doing it. Like the game, our next big game against Man City in the Champions League in December. I would like to see Arda Güler not being used in that role specifically. I hope it doesn't lead to the way. If you want to have a controller, if you want to have a person progressing the ball from deep, you can have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who can invert in that midfield, which he's been asked to do, which he's been doing it with Liverpool last season, the year before. You can ask him to do that. So rather than have Arda Güler drop deep, you can now have Trent do that role, where you can have Militao cover for him if you need to, or Camavinga can cover for him if you need to, or Fede Valverde can cover for him if you need to. So I hope moving forward, the game against Man City, the game, other games in the future, I would want Arda Güler to be playing a much more advanced, and if he does drop bad performances, then we can have a conversation and say, you know what, Arda Güler, you're bad, you're not good enough, you're not good dudes. At the moment, it's just stupid because context is very important. One game is one game. It's not 20 games. It's not all bad teams, all big games. He performed against Barca in the Copa del Rey final. He performed against Juve in both games. He performed against Dortmund. He performed against Atleti. So where is this narrative coming from? Where is this myth coming from? So calm down. Don't believe the narratives. And now I'm chatting to the people who's coming up with these fake stories. You guys are pathetic. You guys are all supporting a player more than the club itself. And you know who I am talking about. You guys know who you support and who you prefer, and you like your favorite player. But your favorite player, the player that you guys love so much, in those 2 games which you guys are emphasizing so massively, did not have a great game, specifically the game against Liverpool. Because if you're trying to tell me Arda Güler had a bad game, then your own favorite player had a worse game. Like Mbappe had a worse game. Vinny Jr., what? You tell me you can't get past Conor Bradley? But again, I'm not stupid. I understand why he couldn't, because the role was different. He was double teamed, triple teamed so many times. Again, I'm not here to say or make a video about Vinny Jr., get him out. He's a bad player. No, I understand context is very important. That's why I'm not criticizing Vinny Jr., because I understand why he had a bad game. But you guys are criticizing someone else because he had a bad game, but you don't understand why, but you rather defend someone else. Again, it makes no sense. Put your agenda to the side, put your narrative to the side. You should support the club rather than the player itself. So if a player has a bad game, you should understand why it's a bad game rather than actually defending. Because I'm pretty sure most of you guys, you'd rather have your favorite player score 2 goals, Real Madrid lose the game, so for you to come out after the game and say, or put a compilation video, or put a tweet, carried, but got lost, did everything that he could, but his team lost. You'd rather have that than see your team win 5-0 that same game, but your favorite player have 0 goals, 0 GAs, because you can't have that narrative anymore. You can't say, my player carried anymore. So for that reason, you'd rather see your player do well than the club itself. And that should never be the priority, because if I see that, and I know most of you guys are that, you guys are not a Madrid fan, I'm just wasting my time, and I know I can't have an actual debate and an actual civilized conversation because I know you guys support the player more than the club itself. But I hope I've made it very clear about Arda Güler, why he's been used differently, why his role is different and why this whole big game narrative is stupid, because it makes no sense. It's one game, but that one game was, his role was completely different. So I've made it clear. And if you want to have an actual debate, a conversation, put down in the comment section what you guys feel about the whole situation. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow with both Real Madrid and Barcelona. Peace.